Welcome back. In this video, we talk about how to interrupt those negative thoughts that can be obsessive, that can make you anxious, that can make you depressed, and all kind of things. We're gonna look at this simple way I used in my life and I share with my client to interrupt those thoughts, to break that cycle of negative thinking that can create a lot of suffering in your life. So let's go. I wanna keep this video short and simple, just like the tool I'm about to give you, so that you can use it easily, effortlessly, anywhere, anytime you need it. Anytime your mind obsessed with negative thoughts, every time you feel like you don't know how to break the cycle, every time you feel like it's too much chatter going on, this simple tool works wonderfully well, and it gives you that control over your mind. It gives you that discipline to be like in charge of your mind and not your mind running the show over you, like you feel like powerless and there's nothing you can do about it. Because the truth is we are always in control, but we have to discipline that. It's just like going to the gym and building those muscles. So let's go into this. Now, if you're new to this channel, guys, I want to welcome you. I want to thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe. As always, if you have any question or comment, let me know down below. All right, so negative thinking is probably one of the main source of suffering on the planet. Right? We all have up to 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. Most of those thoughts are negative. Most of them are unconscious, we're not even aware of, and they're repetitive and habitual. So if you constantly have those anxious, worry, angry, attacking, defensive thoughts, it's no surprise that we feel anxious, that we feel tired, that we feel defensive, that we feel worried, that we feel frustrated. And it takes a toll because every thought produces a chemical, emotional reaction in the body. And if we let that repeat and build that momentum, that's what happens when you have this cycle of rapid, crazy, negative thought that goes in your mind, is because you've built so much momentum mentally and emotionally that it feels overwhelming and you don't know how to stop it. The paradox is that although your thoughts are extremely important because they create your reality, and as the key phrase says, you become what you think about most of the time, there is also a big paradox in that you are not your mind, meaning you are not your thoughts, you are not your body. So then the question is, if you are not your thoughts, your mind, and your body, then who or what are you? This is a great question to contemplate, because understanding that you're not your thoughts, that you're not your mind, that you're not your body, is extremely important in being able to take control over your mind, to be able to discipline your mind and to interrupt those negative thoughts on command. Because suffering from negative thoughts only happen if you identify, if you take those thoughts personally, meaning you think it's true, you think it's happening, it's a reality, this is it. But we all had experiences in our life where we're kind of just observing them. There was a lot of chatter going on, and you were just observing those thoughts without reacting, without identifying with it, without believing in them. And that detachment, that act of observing, is really who we are, the observer, the silent listener, infinite spirit, whatever you want to call it. And it's something very much easy to observe when you are in meditation. It might be a little bit hard to conceptually understand with your thoughts, but to experientially get through meditation and contemplation. But to truly just contemplate that question, if I am not my thought, then who or what am I? Can bring you great silence in your mind, great pause. And this is critical, because the moment you realize at any given moment of time, when your thought of too much emphasis, when there's too much chatter in your mind, if you can remind yourself that, wait a second, I am not my thoughts, I am not this body, I am not this mind, they lose power over you. Because at that moment you reject the importance that you had given them, the power that you have put in those. And so the technique that I'm about to give you is extremely simple and work very well with that understanding. Everything I do, the only thing I do when I have those negative thoughts, because everybody has those negative thoughts, they come, and it's not about beating yourself up or not having any negative thoughts or any kind of thing like this, but it's to be able to regulate that inner conversation, to be able to go back to a place of positive thinking, of thinking from the end, of creating that experience that you want and the life that you want through your thinking, through your perception, but also through your awareness of what goes on in the mechanism of your mind. And so when I notice any form of negative chatter going on in my mind, what I say to myself is this. I say, stop. Either in my head, or if I'm at home, I would say it out loud, stop. And it's so simple. It is so simple, but the moment you say stop, your mind kind of freezes for a very brief moment. Everything kind of stops, pause. You become alert. And I think that is because we're very much conditioned ever since maybe we're young to stop when people tell us to stop, or to stop at the red light, or to stop at the stop sign. So we have this inbuilt mechanism, conditioning around the word stop. And so when you tell yourself stop, notice how still you become, alert you become for a moment, and you regain that power to break that momentum that's going on in your mind. And that alone, if you practice this simple tool, every time you notice your mind going crazy and making worst case scenarios, interrupt it, stop, stop, stop. And that alone can break that momentum. But at the beginning, you're gonna need to build that muscle. You're gonna need to, create that space over and over and over again in order to control and take control of the momentum that's been going on automatically without you paying attention for perhaps a long time. So if there's a lot of energy right now behind those negative thoughts, you might need to exert a lot of conscious awareness to break that momentum and reclaim the power and put a new energy and a new focus. So sometimes what you might want to say as well is that stop. Remember, I am not my thought, or I am not these thoughts of lack or anxiety. And simply allowing you to break that, to realize that, can simply bring back a little bit of peace in your life. And then you can start to focus on what you want instead. It's a simple tool that if you do work it, if you build that habit of interrupting the thoughts and not beating yourself, not judging anything, but simply interrupting them over and over and over again, you're training your mind to listen to you. It's like training a dog that listens to what you say and doesn't just ramble on its own because of the nature of the animal, brain kind of thing. So this is my simple way to stop negative thinking. And every now and then, I think it's very good to ponder on this question. If I am not these thoughts, i.e. those negative thoughts that are in your mind, then what am I? If I am not my thoughts of the past, if I am not my thought of the anxious future, then what am I, or who am I? If I am not my thought of lack and limitation, then who or what am I? If I am not my angry thought, then what am I? If I am not that self-pity voice in my head, then who or what am I? And in the answer of that question lies who you could become if you drop those thoughts and the belief in those thoughts. There lies your freedom. So let me know what you think in a comment. Try it out, experience it out, and do it. Interrupt those negative thoughts, take back your control, and let only good things come to your mind. Be well, guys.